You're listening to Life Check Yourself with life coach, transformational leader, and dating and relationship badass, Marni Battista. Every week, you'll get the raw truth from top experts and real people on the important life and love issues you want to know about. So, if you're ready to life check yourself in your relationships, your career, and the areas of your life that matter most to you, and you're not afraid to be called out on your, stuff, then you're ready for what's next.
Life Check Yourself with Lily Womble. The 3 nice girl habits all women must break. Ladies, welcome. Super fun today to have on the show a woman who got her fame and glory from a viral TikTok video. So I think this is going to be such a fun conversation today with Lily Womble. She's the founder and CEO of Date Brazen, whose mission is to help women just like you, badass feminist humans, have joyful, fulfilling, and confident as hell dating lives that lead to extraordinary love, which is what I think we all want. Lily was born in Alabama, and having just traveled a lot in the South when we were living in the RV, I totally get her thing. She was raised in the South, and in that environment, she felt like a woman's worth was deeply tied to her romantic relationship status. And she has been a feminist since a young age, and she's bucked this convention. And ultimately, in her journey, she has worked in musical theater. She became a matchmaker and ultimately ended up doing a viral video about how dating apps are a scam. And it led to a book deal and her podcast called the Date Brazen Podcast, and her debut book, Thank You More, Please, A Feminist Guide to Breaking Down Dating Rules and Finding Love, which I love. And while she's not doing her biz, she lives in New York with her husband, who is the love of her life. So I just think you are a testament to the journey of what it's like to figure out your own way to find your heart's desire, which is so cool.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I mean, hearing my bio, it's quite a thing. So thanks so much.
Oh my God, yeah, for sure. So tell me about. I want to start in the middle of the story and sort of like how you ended up coming to that place of doing matchmaking and being in the dating industry for like 14 or 15 years. Like there's a lot of bias and rules and just some crazy shit. And so tell me, like, what was that experience for you, and what led to the breakup with matchmaking and your own sort of journey and way?
Yeah, so I like you mentioned, was in the musical theater world in New York. I needed a side hustle. I needed a side job because I needed to pay bills,
right?
As you do in New York. And I learned through a friend that this matchmaking firm was hiring. I said, there are matchmaking firms? Like, I didn't know anything about it. Turns out it's this huge economy of matchmaking services around the country and world. And I thought, how funny would it be if I was a matchmaker? I didn't have any desire or ambition to be in the dating space. But then when I got the job and I started diving into women's dating lives with them and started to learn about their desires, learn about their preferences, set them up on dates, I realized that dating was this microcosm of every hope, joy, dream, fear, insecurity, desire that we have as humans. And if I could help women be well in their dating lives, I could help women be well.
Yeah.
It was a part of wellness. Yeah. And not because we are more whole in romantic relationship. I don't believe that's true, but because a lot of people, especially high achieving women, are brilliant in their career and they feel stuck in their dating lives and they fear that means something about them, right? And so I got to help them free themselves from that sort of trap of thinking that they're less than and help them start living in their main character energy in their dating lives. And I became the 3rd most successful out of 160 matchmakers at that firm. Brag.
Yeah, that's amazing. You're like, I got it down.
Oh my God. It was very fun for a while. But then when I started to take a look at my own personal life, which my love life at the same time that I was setting up all these great dates and telling my clients you deserve more, my love life was in the dumpster. I mean, I was like settling hardcore. I was going on really bad dates, thinking that it was my fault. I was settling in toxic situationships with people because my underlying fear was, am I too much? Or am I not enough, right? That double bind.
Yep.
And growing up in the Deep South, that was what I was taught. I'm too sensitive, too bossy, too much. And so when I looked at like, okay, I'm no longer willing to live out of alignment. My therapist really helped me see after years of settling and then years of matchmaking, like, Lily, you gotta get in alignment. So once I had the courage to break it off with the final toxic ex, I sat down and looked for help. How am I never going to settle again? And I looked to my therapist. She hadn't dated in 30 years, didn't know what to tell me.
Right.
Family and friends just said, like, swipe more, like, get on another dating app. Are you sure you're not being too picky? Give them another chance.
Yep.
Problematic.
Yeah.
Then I looked at matchmaking, which was this fun first date solution, but I knew for myself I needed something much deeper than a first date to never settle again and to find the best relationship of my life. So I was really my first client. I started getting beneath the surface of my checklist, and I started getting beneath the surface of the you're too much story, doing that mindset work and pairing it with tactical strategy that I learned as a matchmaker. And so I started feeling free and joyful in my dating life. I started giving my number to cute waiters. I started living in my main character energy, and I coached my matchmaking clients with the same tools, and they started to find better dates for themselves than I or anybody else could find for them. And I ended up meeting the love of my life because of the tools that I was, learning for myself.
Right.
So at that point, about 6-7 years ago, I broke up with matchmaking to be a feminist dating coach to help people become their own expert matchmaker.
I love this. I think what you're saying is so reflection of my own journey, except I wasn't a matchmaker. But I remember just sort of thinking like that we want to learn how to fish, right? Like we want to learn how to fish. And so I think that when people come to me and they're like, I've tried matchmaking or I've tried this, they're looking sort of for like the magic fix it, like the mechanism or the potion or the pill or the strategy that is going to like alleviate their pain, their frustration, their inner demons, that they'll finally find this person and that will solve all their problems. But what you're talking about is that without both of those things, the mindset and a strategy, right? You'll just keep like going in a loop and a circle on an endless sort of like cycle of blame and victimhood, right?
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
So tell me, when you did that viral video, the dating apps are a scam, tell me about that. What was that about?
Yeah. So I had been building my business for about 4 years before that video happened. So I was in the trenches with my clients. I was, really building the business from nothing, by myself. And it was so gratifying. But as you probably know, the highs were high, the lows were really low in being an entrepreneur. And I just decided, I had written this book proposal and I knew my stuff was good. I knew my clients were feeling incredible about themselves and finding love. So I had written this book proposal and nobody, like I got a lot of rejection. No, they said like the platform isn't big enough. They said like, oh, you have a podcast, but like not enough listeners. You have followers, but not enough followers, like all these things. So I just got on TikTok to mess around and to have fun and to be honest with people. And I made a video one day randomly. I had about 800 followers, and I was grateful for all of them. I had about 200 people listening to my podcast per episode. So grateful for them. And I got on TikTok and I was like, I need to talk about that dating apps are not the answer. They're a tool and they generally are going to take advantage of users unless people come in with a strategy. So I just spoke from the heart. I spoke from my research, citing that dating apps were built like slot machines designed to addict. They're like McDonald's fries. They give you enough of the good stuff. McDonald's fries are covered in dextrose, like a sugary thing.
I didn't know that, but I know that they're good.
They're delicious and they're not filling, right? They're going to keep you wanting more and more and more. Similar with the dating app, it's going to give you enough of the good stuff to keep you coming back, but not enough of the good stuff to like get you in a relationship. So I posted this video and then it went viral and it was such an interesting experience because suddenly there were all these eyeballs and wonderful humans joining my programs and like listening to the podcast, and we became number 4 on the Apple relationship chart. And it was so cool. And people were like, this is a new idea. And I was over here being like, I've been saying this for 4 years. Well, I'm grateful that it happened because it gave a launch pad for, the book to be published. And this book is set my heart, and my whole process in a book. And it's such a gift to be able to have it come out in the world in June. Both and I've been doing this work and I've just been saying the same things and hoping that people resonate. And obviously they are. And I think that is reflective of the feminist revolution that I think is necessary in the way that we're talking about dating and empowering women specifically, or people socialized as women, to find love.
Yeah, I think this is so great because that when people say that's so new, like, I love that. And also they're like looking for the answer, right?
Yes.
Like, yes, you're like silly rabbit tricks over.
I know. Yeah.
Because we so desperately, our brain wants us to find that certain way. And I've been talking about how, like, especially in the coaching, in this industry that we're in, like the marketing, right, that we all are doing is like, do this and you'll meet we don't have to, but that's what we do, right? We give you what you want so that we can give you what you need, which is like the hybrid approach. And so when you get someone and they're like, okay, just tell me, what should I say in my profile, or what should my pictures, or someone said, I interviewed on the show yesterday, who's a toxic relationship expert. And she's like, people, and they're like, is he toxic or is he not? Should I stay or should I go? And she's like, that's not the point.
Right.
So when you get in it with someone, and they're like, come on, Lily, just give me the answer. Like, what's that like to be able to push someone and say, like, hey, I know, TikTok is fun and games, but like, this isn't going to work unless you realize that you're attached to the I'm too much story. So what's that like? How do you, and why do women need to like force themselves to deal with the truth?
Oh, so interesting. So I think there's a difference between somebody who's like ready to do the work and ready to examine, and somebody who is still stuck in the it's never going to happen, the self-blame spiral, and just misery kind of loves company in that way. And so I think some people just like literally aren't ready.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And I see them every day in my comments, and I imagine like sending them love, and I try not to get into it with the people who aren't ready to do the work, because that's 100%. Not my job.
You can't. I was on TikTok briefly and I was like, wow, people are really hurt and sad and upset. And that you're like, I'm just going to send you love because I can't really help you. You're not ready.
Well, and they're not ready, and they might be, and like, who knows? But my job, I think of my job as like really focusing on the people who are ready to take action, ready to do something different. Right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So I am every video, every post, every coaching session, I'm talking to the people who are ready to make change.
Yeah.
Even if they're a little resistant or afraid, like, we can fix that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is figure outable. So I think that, so what was your original question? I got so excited.
How do you, so if someone comes to you and they're like, like,
oh, just give it to me.
Yeah, just give it to me. Like, how do you sort of shift into like, hey, what's really going on here?
So the first step that I have all my clients do is really learning their essence-based preferences. So this is beneath the surface of a checklist, beneath the surface of you saying you want somebody kind, funny, smart. How does it feel to be in the right relationship? What personality traits, what values do you want? And then define those words. Paint me a picture. In that process, people generally, if they're paying attention, see that they have so much resistance or fear or scarcity coming up. And that's where, when I tell them, okay, do this homework assignment, you want the answer? Do this. Do the essence-based preferences. And then come to me when you realize you're really stuck in this process. And that's when we could do the deeper work of like, why aren't you giving yourself permission to want what you want? Why don't you think this is possible? What have you been taught about yourself, your personality? What have you been taught about what men or women do that is, and I'm sorry about the Brooklyn noise outside of my window. There's now one.
Now I hear it. Yeah, New York.
But so I think that the answer to how do you get somebody unstuck who's just like, give me the solution, is you let them get into the work and then you let them realize where their stuckness is coming up. And I'm like, that's magic because we can figure it out together. And that's when I do the deeper work of like, how are you caring for your nervous system? How are you really retraining your neural pathways to start believing that your desires exist?
I love this. Okay. So let's talk about this one because I think this is so huge. And it's sort of like the wah wah, that like comparing yourself to everyone else and regretting that, maybe I should have settled for that guy, or maybe I should have not stayed in that toxic relationship that long. Like, therefore I'm bad. So when you look at people and they come and they're like, everyone else has got it, why not me? How do we get out of that cycle?
Oof, it's so tough. And I also hear, especially around like when I'm opening my program or whatever, the thought like, why would I pay for something that my friend got for free?
Yeah.
Right? Why would I pay for dating help when my friend got a relationship for free? And I would just say that I don't care about anyone finding a relationship. I care about them finding the best freaking relationship of their whole lives. And by the way, your friend who landed in a relationship randomly, who knows whether they are in the best relationship of their life? Who knows whether they are trusting of themselves? Who knows if they have self-doubt on a loop in their brain all day, every day? Just because a relationship, I love this Shani Silver quote, a relationship is not a prize for healing. And so the idea that your friend who's in a relationship is just so much more healed or has something figured out that you don't is false. And the only thing separating people, I believe, from finding the right relationship, if they're single right now, is giving themselves permission to want what they want.
Yeah.
Ask for it out loud often.
Yes. Yeah. No, I totally,
Right.
I love that. I love that. And I think this is such a great thing when you say, why, I've never heard it like that. Why should I pay for something that someone else has for free? And I'm going to flip back to the thing that you said at the very beginning, which I think was brilliant, was that you're not paying for like the dude, right? You're paying for the insight and that wholeness and that wellness, right? Because it's, to me, I mean, and this is what I sort of think about, again, going back to like dating coaching and the dating industry, is like, because there's just many people that are in their relationship and they're stuck because their business won't go, right? Or they can't lose weight, or they're living in clutter, right? There's a symptom that happens, and our job is to go, oh, this is the window, right? This is the way that my soul is going to learn what it needs to learn on the journey. And so you just in the lottery of like, what's my fucked up shit? Yours was like, deet, 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 deet. Love. Okay. Yes, that's how I'm going to learn to love myself and accept myself and get confident and stand in my power and learn boundaries. That's how I'm going to do it. And so I think that what you're talking about is getting whole. And then as a result, like you said, with the then you need a strategy, which most people don't have. You win the lottery, but you win the lottery because you loved yourself and then you found someone to love from that place, not the hurt place, right?
Yeah, well, and I also think that this idea of love yourself first and then love will come can feel, tricky for a lot of single folks who have been on a self-love journey.
Right.
A lot of my clients have been doing therapy. They have been doing the healing. They have been doing it. And they come to me and they say, Lily, I really like my life, but I really am having trouble finding the right partner. And I say like, great, because it's about how you take action from a place of confidence and main character energy, as opposed to settling for the scraps, or as opposed to being so rigid to protect yourself that you're not open to being surprised by the right people. So I do think that it's a both and of like, yes, learning the healing work and obviously self-compassion, I think, is the most life-changing force ever. It's changed my life all day, every day. But again, I care about how people normalize the feeling of being in the best relationship of their lives before that relationship happens.
Yeah, because what you're saying is and you talked about this with the essence preferences, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like well, how am I going to feel? Right. It's going for the feeling, not waiting until like Mr. Right comes along to happen.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Would you say that if you don't subscribe to your approach, that on the backside of that, you might meet the great guy, but you won't know that's him? You'll sabotage. Like, does that happen when people don't really land in this place of like groundedness?
Yeah, well, I can speak
Like
to my
that.
clients who are in the best relationships of their lives with the tools. I've identified a couple of tools that they just like master. They own and they live every single day that leads to them finding and being in the best relationship ever. So it's essence-based preferences. So like knowing how you want to feel in the right relationship and having a language to succinctly describe what you want that is clear and that's open to like being surprised. I call it an impressionist painting rather than like a rigid snapshot.
Right.
And the second skill is blessing and releasing.
Yeah.
So how are you swiftly blessing and releasing the wrong people for you without the mind drama?
Yes. I so love this. Just next.
Yes.
Just
Just
next.
next, like being unbothered by the people that are wrong for you. Whereas a lot of people get stuck and caught up in like, did I say no to the right person? Or who am I to bless and release them? Or did I do something wrong? Or were they really that bad? Whatever. You get to learning self-trust is a life-changing skill. And self-trust is at the root of blessing and releasing the wrong people. The more swiftly you bless and release the wrong people, the more swiftly you'll find yourself in the best relationship. So in terms of the clients who like, they work with me, they're like, oh my God, I would have spent months with them if I hadn't had this bless and release strategy and my essence-based preferences. So there are a lot of people who are spending way too much time in the wrong relationships, way too much time blaming themselves. That is creating stuckness. And these tools that I get to teach in my book and my programs and that we're talking about right now that you probably teach to your clients too, like just accelerate your path.
Well, yeah. And again, that's what you can learn from, right? You can do it in trial and error, or you can learn a different way.
Yeah. And I think the self-doubt, even if you find the right person, the self-doubt could eat you alive.
Yes.
So learning the skill of self-trust will, and the bless and release and the essence-based preferences, like that ensures that you're going to feel good in the first few months of being in the right relationship instead of torturing yourself with, is this right? Is this wrong? Overthinking, So I think this is just about creating freedom in your love life and accelerating your path towards what's right for you.
I love that. So tell me how, and this is a random question, but I'm so curious. So tell me, how did you come up with your title, right? About
Thank you more, please.
More, please. Yeah. Tell me about that.
So it happened a couple of years ago in my own business. And, there have been a couple of, there was a movie, Happy Thank You More Please, which I never watched. I just say that to say, like, I think I came up with this phrase, but I think it was also in a collective consciousness as well. So I was building my business and I was kind of in scarcity mode, honestly, Marni. Like I was like worried and had some doubt about where I was going. And I just decided one day something good happened. And I decided to be a little audacious, felt a little audacious. I just said, more, please. Like, thank you, universe, more, please.
Right. Yeah.
And that felt really, I had an image of like Oliver Twist, coming from musical theater. I know that like, please, sir, can I have some more? But instead of that, like desperate, like, please give me food. It was just like, thank you. Yeah. More, please. This energy of grateful abundance and belief that more is possible. And I started saying it for myself and my business, and I started feeling like really good. I started to notice more evidence that what I wanted was happening and existed. And then I ended up attracting more of what I wanted because of Thank You More Please and this practice that was sort of meditative, honestly.
Yeah.
So I used it and applied it to my clients. They started to find these incredible opportunities, incredible dates, building incredible hope in their love lives with this tool. So I got on TikTok, as I do now, and I started talking about Thank You More Please, the challenge, which is go out into the world and look for slivers of evidence that what you want exists. When you see the slivers of evidence, you say, thank you, more please, out loud, so that your brain can recognize that there is possibility and so that you can build a bank of hope instead of swimming in overwhelm and hopelessness. And this TikTok video went viral. It had a couple million views. Like, people started DMing me and saying, like, I found an incredible date with this challenge. I found an incredible, like, partner with this challenge. And so when I wrote this book, it originally wasn't titled Thank You More Please. I hadn't posted that viral video yet. My publisher called me like 3 months until the book was going to be printed and said, like, what if we retitled the book Thank You More Please? That seems to be what people are really connecting with. Because whereas a lot of the dating space is about, here are the rules, or like, here's how to, you want to not die alone, or like whatever. And God bless all of the other phrases in dating books. And I want my dating book to inspire hope from the minute you look at it, So that's where Thank You More Please was born.
I think that's so great. And I think that's such a good, and it matches total with Bless and Release too, right? Because if you know that more is coming, then you're like, also thank you, no, right? Thank you, no, thank you, and thank you more, please. Thank you,
yes,
right? Like, it's that harmony of ease and being in flow, right? Love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So awesome. Okay, last question. When's your book's coming out? In June 2024?
June 11th, 2024.
We're so excited for you. That is so amazing. I have a book coming out in February 2025. And so,
congratulations. What's your title?
Well, right now, because who knows, right? It's called Your Radical Living Challenge, 7 Questions for a Meaningful Life.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. So when you were talking about the no's, and I always tell my book story, because when I first started, I was going to write a dating book. And so I put my stuff out there, and they were like, oh, you need to build a platform. And I was like a mom with 3 kids, and I was like, what's a platform? Shoo, I don't even know what that means. So that no. So here's the thing. That no, right, was like, oh, what's a platform? Literally, I'll never forget the moment in my kitchen. I was like, wait, platform, business. Wait, I don't really even want to be a nursery school teacher anymore. This is what I'm meant to do.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I share that because it's that no, right? That last toxic relationship that you had was really a door to walk through once you was like, all right, I'm open it. I'm going with faith.
Right.
And you said no so that you could say thank you more, please, to what is working, right? You follow the breadcrumbs, guys, gals.
Yes, I love it. Well, I am so excited to read your book. And I think that it is about, you mentioned a window that the area where you feel most scarcity or most fear is an opportunity to create more freedom and to do your own work. So I know your book's going to help people with that. So excited.
Oh, well, thank you. I love that. And I think last thing is, so when you look at someone and they're like, okay, Lily, like the dating apps suck. It's like French fries, but like also I want to date online. And then last little tips were like, how do you use it as a tool? What's the right mindset? And how do we make sure we're just not on there for dopamine hits?
Yep. I'm for the few, not for the many is the mindset that you got to adopt. I'm for the few, not for the many. Most people are going to be wrong for you. Be unbothered by them.
Yeah.
Number 1. Number 2, set fierce boundaries. 20 minutes a day is my recommendation on a dating app. Put it down. Do it when you're cozy and feeling awake and feeling somewhat good about yourself, right? Like I called it cozy swiping. And no notifications. I think notifications that's your brain searching for the dopamine hit and also searching for validation. So no notifications, 1 dating app, not 3, 20 minutes a day, and ask bold AF questions. Ask the questions that, what's bringing you joy lately? What are you hoping to find in your dating life? What's your hottest opinion? Who in your family makes you laugh the hardest? Or like whatever your essence-based preferences are, ask questions that vet people, and don't be afraid to be your boldest self is how you make the right relationship inevitable with online dating.
I love it. People are so worried, like, I don't know, what if that's too much? I'm like,
You can't
too much. Be fucking too much. Exactly.
You can't say the wrong thing to the right person.
Amen. Oh, Lily, I love you. So, ladies, go to datebrazen.com. And the link is in the show notes. It's datebrazen.com/book. Because if you pre-order, which as a fellow author, I'm saying go do this for yourself and for Lily. She's got all these amazing freebies and gifts. You get like a and access to her club. And if you can order gifts for all your girlfriends and you can be positive together and not swim in the sea of suck. You can get like discounts, and she's just got all these amazing things that are actually just really generous and kind, because her book just on its own is fucking amazing. So go to the website and check that out. Click the link in our show notes. Share this episode with your friend. Tell everyone you know and start saying thank you, more please. I would love to have you back closer to your launch date. So thank you, more please.
Thank you, more please. So grateful. And thank you for asking beautiful questions. I'm so excited for both of our books, and thank you, more please, to these kinds of conversations.
I love it. Ladies, share this with your friends. You can always find me. I'm not on TikTok anymore. I sort of got bored of it, but you can find Lily there. Is it Date Brazen or is it Lily?
Yeah, at Date Brazen on Instagram and TikTok. Super easy. DATEBRAZEN.
Love it. And you can find me, Marni Battista _ at Instagram. And I'm old fashioned, so I'm on Facebook. So find me there too. Ladies, whatever you do, we've given you lots of tips and tricks and resources. But remember, it's your responsibility to life check yourself. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Hey, thanks for tuning into today's show. So if being in an intimate relationship in which you feel 100% seen, heard, and accepted by a high caliber man is a priority for you right now, and you're interested in seeing if you're a fit for working with me and my team at Dating with Dignity, here's what I want you to do. Just head over to DWD VIP, that's D as in dating, W, D as in dating, VIP.com, and book a call to speak with my team. We'll get on the phone with you for about 60 minutes, and you'll get crystal clear on what's stopping you from finding true love right now. We'll also take a look at what you want to create, what you want your whole life to look like when you're able to finally be fully expressed as a woman in a healthy relationship with an incredible guy. And if we can help you get from where you are right now to where you want to be, we will show you the fastest path possible that makes sense for you to do that. We help smart, successful women all over the world solve this one missing piece in their life so they can finally have it all. So to see if we can help you do the same thing, head over to DWDVIP.com. I'm Marni Battista, and let's talk soon.